Right, long overdue. Well, since I got sub 4 and I've taken the level where I want it to go, I'm going to make the new town tutorial now as well. So yeah, let's get into it. So we'll start off with glitches. There's actually only one you need for this level, and that's the droidic animation cancel, same one as in Lego City. Little clip of it here. But yeah, fairly straightforward. Take a shot with the droidica and very quickly cycle characters back and forth. I go right left. You can do left right, doesn't really matter. But use the triggers if you're using a controller because bumpers can get damaged from mashing them. So there's not any more glitches really, but towards the end of the level, we've now implemented a 2-controller strategy, which is the first time it's been used in a world record run. So this will take a little bit of practice, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It is considered legitimate by the community, so it's fair game. So we're going to move on to the list of extras now. A very similar list to Lego City. Force Grapple, Perfect Deflect, Explosive Blaster Bolts, Force Pull, Super Slam, Deflect Bolts, Super Blasters, Fast Force, Invincibility, and Fast Build. Super Gun doesn't... Well, it does have an effect if you don't have the Stormtrooper character unlocked, but it won't have any effect for the purposes of this run, which is done on a 100% completed save file. So just those ones are necessary. You can put anything on and it'll still work, but at a bare minimum you need this list on, and that list will also be in the description. So we're just going to run into, well, the run, and do a commentary over it, explain what's going on. Character selection, again, is Force User Droidica. Again, you want Force User to be player 1, as you'll see in a minute. So you spawn in, and you can immediately start forcing these 4 flowers around here. Again, doesn't let you switch for a couple of seconds, so I just wander over here and start doing the flowers. The flower patch can be a bit awkward on this level. So if you look over here, there's one in the corner, then there's a row of 3, and then 4 rows of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's this one is incredibly easy to miss. So just make sure you get on that, and then come over here and activate those 4. So there's one behind the door. Don't know if you can make out. There's one in there, and one there, and one there. And then obviously force the door. So if you're not using a Sith Lord, you do need to put Dark Side on, so you can do the door straight away. But otherwise, just keep rolling and start using your animation cancels immediately to just take everything out possible. When you get around at this point, start building, hit the switch, come back around, and work your way up to the tractor house up here. Start building that. 20 seconds is a very good time for that sort of area. You want this entire house to be broken down, and you start forcing this trophy around here. This trophy needs to be done 5 times, but if you start while you're up here, you can move forward ever so slightly between each one, as you'll see here, to pick up the studs. And then turn around and get that one. You need the windmills active as quickly as possible, so that you can shoot lamps out. The Womp Rats in this level technically are not necessary, but I found it to be very good for consistency. And if you take them out here, it does give you some leeway on the boat section coming up later. You can afford to miss a stud or 2 and not have to worry about coming back, really. So that's why I take them out. Technically, they're not necessary, so if you really wanted to eke every second out of it, you wouldn't kill them. But I knew I could get sub 4 without cutting them out, so I just kept doing them for consistency. Yeah, so take a shot there. There's usually some flowers down here that you can take out. with one shot, and then there's some like patched windows here that you need to take out. So then start forcing the doors. I like to close that window before coming up, but it's not necessary. Come down. You don't have to do that yellow bar, but I like to do it there. It helps my route later on through the Lego sign, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. Close the windows, get in the fire truck, and just follow the path along. Once you hit the last stud, it'll sort of jump into place there. Force the ladder, and then force grapple up there, and make sure that you like wait at the top a little bit, so that this rat comes off. Because if this rat doesn't come off, it costs you like 10k, and you can lose world record runs like that. So you should have taken this house out before. So coming here through this little doorway, get all the studs, and start taking this out. Now, you need to make sure that you shoot the fence next to the barrel there. Otherwise, it won't blow up, and you'll have to use a bounty bomb, which obviously wastes a lot of time. So be very careful not to shoot the fence next to it, because then it'll blow the fence up, but not the barrel, and you'll be screwed. So do that, take the fence out, build the thing, and wait, because on this level you actually have to push it around and do the roundabout. Wait for it to fly off, and then just start shooting. Spray. I like to spray along the bottom first, and then do the top on the way back. Just follow what's on screen here, basically. But it is worth noting that you need to shoot the flower patch the same way you do on Lego City. Like, once it's activated, you need to shoot it at least once, and the quickest way to do it without interrupting the rest of the run is to just do it here and make sure you land a shot. Usually you'll be able to tell if you've missed it by your stud count sort of at the beginning of the boat ride. So the fence cage here, you'll notice once I build it, I push it along, I pan the camera over to that corner, and if I just rewind a bit, sometimes there can be a fence like along here that you can get that you can see by panning the camera, and like you have to make sure you take it out after you push this in if it's still there, but in this run it wasn't. So like 140 is a very fast time, and you can see I'm on a good stud count. I'm at about 500k, which means I did successfully do the flower patch. So do these windows, and then we're going to get down here, and you're going to see these ducks. I don't know if you could, yeah, I just took them out. But these ducks are on a cycle, and if you're really, really fast like that, the ducks will often be under here, like under the docks. So that's why I waited a little bit longer at the top here and started shooting stuff out before I came down, because I knew the ducks would be under the dock when I came in if I did that too quickly. You can typically tell the pace of a run by the duck cycle. On like an average sort of pace run, the ducks will be right there ready to go, but sometimes you do need to wait. An alternative thing you could do is you could just wait until you could just go straight in the boat and try to get the ducks on the way out of the pool, but I found this to be better. So get in the boat, and this is a very hard section to do quickly. You just have to practice. There's no easy way to do it. You just have to do it by muscle memory, basically. I do it by this route, but you know, if you find something else that works for you, you can do quite quickly and well, and do that. But this is, you know, about a 15 to 20 second sort of route through everything, and you can pick everything up, and it's somewhat consistent, and it's what I've used for countless records on this level. So make sure you've got the ducks, obviously, first of all, and then once you come out, anything that was left along here from before, you want to make sure is gone. And then start shooting over here to try and take out some of the house or the tauntaun cage, and then cut in and start working your way on this basketball area. Now, usually you just take stuff out and then hop straight into this thing. You need to make sure you get the lights and stuff as well. They're very easy to miss and can cost you a run. But so This basketball hoop can be random. I haven't found a way to consistently get it to go first time, but on this run it happened to come very close to first time, so just keep mashing X until one of them goes in, and then hop straight out. Usually you would hop out and go up here and start building the flowers, but because for some reason I decided to go do that this run, I just came straight out and went in here. And make sure there's a stud sometimes that's behind that you can't see for the camera angle, but it's very easy to miss. So make sure you get that. That's why I switched to the Emperor, so you can get all the way into the corner. And then come round, build the other flowers, and come down here. There are a lot of trees in this area here that are very easy to miss, so make sure you get those. And if you come in here, if you shot this house from over here, sometimes the barrel will just blown up through the house, but it's very inconsistent. So what I learned to do basically was to just shoot the door, and because the bullet would bounce off the door, it would blow up the barrel like that. So take out the fences, and this house can be very annoying to do. Typically what you want to do is, you'll see in a minute, leave a hole in the back, but you make sure you get all the studs in it and go through the front. It just makes it a bit easier. So you'll see there I take the sides out, and there's one little tree at the back that I didn't take out, and that's going to allow me to jump out of the back of the house, meaning that I don't have to run back through normally. And also you'll have seen I just shot there. That was to take out the Porsche pillar at the side of the house. So I can just come out of this land speeder and get straight into forcing the house down. So make sure you get all those, come out, there's some trees there that you can shoot and just force your way through this. Make sure if you've taken out that pillar, you should be able to just build this straight away. And then start building the Lego sign. Now, don't worry about these trees, we can get them on the way back. Right? So just follow the route on the screen. This is the best route I've found through them. Don't pick that one up, pick that one up. And right there, we switch characters to the Emperor, so we have two Emperors, basically. You need two Force users here to optimize the time as best as possible later on. So keep going through everything on screen. Hit that, hit that. Now you get the trees that we were on about, and you'll see just now why we switched to the Emperor there. So you stop basically as soon as you pass the sort of threshold of the L, you want to start forcing the G and the O. And if the AI's doing its job, what it will do is, because he's now there, he will start activating this one. Right. So that was very, very quick. Right? And that's why we switched the characters halfway through doing the G and the O over here. Is just specifically for that. It also makes his end section easier, because you don't have to worry about changing characters. Now, the two controller strategy for this bit is basically to start building the ambulance, and then to drop the second player in, grab the Tauntaun, and start running him round. And if you just follow player 1 here, you see him. He's going now for this panel that he pushes around. So we'll now see he jumps up here from player 2. So player 2 is now on this thing, which means we can now do this and just push that around, and that saves so much time compared to the one controller strategy. So much time, because you'd have to wait. Basically, the one controller strategy, you'd push that around, it would stop up here, and it would wait I don't know, 10 to 15 seconds, and then head back round quite slowly. So you lose a lot of time doing it like that, versus this method, which it's not a very hard to control a strategy to implement, all things considered. and it saves that much time, it's just worth it. And that's what made Sub 4 a reality, was this strategy at the ending here. So that's the run, 3:59.63, pretty good. But there is still a lot of time out there to be saved. And there's a lot of 2-controller strategies that I didn't implement because I'm not good enough with 2 controllers yet. So the first one that comes to mind is in the boat section here. If you watch Wii Super's 452, what he does is he drops the second player in and starts running a droidica around the lake as well to pick up all the extra studs that he's missing. So like, he'd be picking up these, he'd have already picked up these ones with a droidica, and he'd be out ready to go like right here. And that saves, you know, probably 5 to 10 seconds depending on how efficiently you can do it. We also have the Lego sign, as I said in the Lego City tutorial. If you can get good enough with 2 controllers to do these quickly, like, it will save a lot of time. I don't think it's enough to push sub 3 on this level just yet, but it's 330X is probably out there with all these strategies put together, if somebody can get good enough at them to execute them all properly. But it would be absolutely insane. So I think that's everything pretty much. I am going to make a similar video for bounty hunter missions at some point. But any questions, you know, leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to respond. And yeah, thanks for watching.